So it's official. NVIDIA has split a 10-1. And we're going to talk about how it's possible, probable, more than likely, how we think, we're in agreement here, that it's probably going to 10x again, getting right back up to its current price. So a 10-1 split. We're going to talk about NVIDIA doing a 10x. It's going to be on the backs of this situational awareness article that came out. Now, I'm going to summarize it, Mike. What do I say? You read quite a bit more. Well, a little bit more in depth. The summary. I like doing summaries, but they just don't give the details. And I think the devil is in the details of where NVIDIA is going to be on this one.
Right.
Okay. So the situational awareness, the decade ahead, by Leopold. That name. Discusses the rapid advancements in AI and the anticipated race towards artificial general intelligence and a super intelligence, which is going to be a day apart. There's no way that's not in the article, but I'm thinking that if you're going to talk about a real artificial intelligence, super intelligence is like an hour later. It highlights the increasing investments in compute clusters, the potential surpassing of human intelligence by AI by the end of the decade, and the significant national security implications. Key challenges include industrial mobilization, securing AGI research, ensuring the AI alignment, maintaining geopolitical stability. The narrative underscores the urgency and intensity of the ongoing technological race. Okay, so jumping into this article though, does it say AI stays where it's at and we just get dumber? Because I see a lot of that on social media, or does AI get smarter? You want to answer that first, or
It's going to get smarter and a lot smarter in a hurry.
There was
sorry, this Leopold guy. He's actually an ex OpenAI employee.
Okay.
Who got fired for leaking documentation or something to that effect.
Yeah. Why'd they toast it? What information did he leak?
I didn't do the research on what he leaked.
Okay. There, I guess.
But basically he's an insider. He knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically saying that some of the stuff that we're saying is that people just don't know what's coming, and it's coming fast. It's coming faster than everyone even believes.
Yeah. And what's funny is how many times I almost question myself. Right. And then it seems like an insider, or because if anyone's been following along with this, there is the headlines, the articles, they're very AI is not going to be here. AI is going to be here tomorrow kind of thing. And it seems like the insiders are saying tomorrow. And everyone else is like, nah, don't worry about it. Like trying to tone it down. And I worry more about the guys that are like this guy, insiders. Why are they saying something so radically different than the media crew?
Yeah.
So that's what I don't want to say. It makes me nervous, but I don't like getting caught off guard. I don't like surprises. I like to be ready for any scenarios. And like, if anyone's new to this channel or anything, this was a stock. The whole brand Don Francho was about stocks and investing. That's just what I do. And now it's AI and trying to get everybody as much as we can, like at least get the word out. Like, please pull your head out of the sand. This isn't time to play ostrich.
Exactly. And what's good about this article is he did a good job of actually charting out how this improvement's going to happen, because there's three categories, right? There's throwing compute at it.
Mm-hmm.
There's increasing the efficiency and productivity of the algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
So the actual software portion of it. And then there's the I forget what he called it, but it's basically the unhindrance of the tool itself. So basically unlocking things allowing it to do things that it can't do now, basically hindering what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So there's three areas that he says, and he did a good job of highlighting them, how those three combined: the unlocking of things that are currently locked down now,
mm-hmm.
the ongoing additional compute, and the better algorithms that are being put. Those just create a exponential effect.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the things that he was talking about is one of the goals is to get to um, an agent, an AI environment, or an AI, basically an AI developer agent,
Mm-hmm.
and produce thousands, if not millions, of these to point it at itself to create better algorithms.
Yeah, to kind of like how Meta did, right? Because
Right.
Meta took like 4 or 5 or 10, and they basically daisy chained them in a circle and said, double check this one's work,
Yeah.
and each one would and perfect it.
Yeah. So
Uh,
so basically, if let's just say OpenAI has 1,000 engineers,
mhm.
they're going to be able to ramp up to 100,000 engineers and point it at this and make the application better.
Yeah, yeah. So it kind of sounds like we're on the slope, like the top side of the slope, like we're about to start gaining momentum.
We are.
Okay.
Yep.
I like to reference this to, like when you're on a roller coaster, it makes that clicking noise the whole way up, and then it just stops. The
Yeah.
clicking noise stops.
Yeah. The click. We're about, I don't know, 10 clicks away from the drop.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking. Like, are we still clicking? I think the clicking's just
We're,
slowing down, or just getting to the top.
we're still clicking, but we're getting really close to the top.
Yeah, and so one of the things you mentioned was the hardware side. So hardware, and that's just it's we're making things as fast as we can. And by we, Nvidia, anyone who can get their hands on this is doing it.
Right.
So it sounds like that hourglass already upside down and going. So and then again, once they are made, they're in the public. Once they get put to use, now that's just filling everything else. So everything else sounds like it's the train's already rolling. It's just now getting up to speed
Yeah.
is the question. The one line that you brought up that I wanted to bring up, because how does this relate to NVIDIA? Someone's going to ask.
Exactly. So bring it back. Why did we turn this into an NVIDIA
Hmm.
stream? Is because of this one particular sentence.
Hmm. By the end of the decade, American electricity production will have grown tens of percent. From the shale fields of Pennsylvania to solar farms of Nevada, hundreds of millions of GPUs will hum.
Yeah, that hundreds of millions of GPUs will hum is what caught my attention. I went and looked to see how many GPUs Nvidia puts out every year, and it was 550,000. If they're talking about ramping up to that amount of GPUs, let's just say there's there's already millions.
Mm,
Let's just say there's already millions of GPUs out in performance or out in the wild right now.
right.
To ramp up to hundreds of millions, that's a lot of GPUs.
Yeah. So, how many was made last year versus this year? Do you know that curve by chance?
I don't know the don't have the 2024 numbers, but I do have the 2023, which is 550,000.
What about 2022?
Uh, didn't look it up.
Because if you want to grab it real quick, because what I was thinking is one right now, Nvidia is kind of the top dog, right? The main one. So I do they I doubt they grow like Tesla. They go from a Lotus with a battery in it to full blown production. I don't think they see that kind of numbers. I think Nvidia already would. So I think they'll see growth. I'm curious what kind of growth they would see. I would actually take their growth from 22 to 23, give it a little bit of a buffer. But then do we just wait years for the rest, or is somebody else? Because when you start adding in years, no one's going to start making GPUs tomorrow, but they can set out the plan, put that in place, and then should the right things happen, be an NVIDIA competitor.
Right.
The CEO of AMD is, Jensen's cousin.
Right.
Um, Maybe leak some family secrets over there. And all of a sudden, AMD's just pumping these things out. That's still 1 million. Let's just say AMD's there tomorrow. That's 1 million a year. So we just wait for the next 100 million years for AI,
No.
or how does this advance? What's the I guess what's the line there? The path.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go dig up some stats.
Hmm.
It took me a little bit to find the 2023 numbers. I'll have to give me some time. I'll go dig up 2022. I'm not gonna be able to do it on the call.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Chat GPT. Let's see if it can give me some numbers really quick. How many GPUs did NVIDIA produce in 2022? It's thinking. It's searching the web.
That's good.
Looking for. I don't know. NVIDIA experienced a notable production output for its GPUs. Despite facing various market challenges, the company shipped a total approximately of 96 million GPUs in the first quarter alone.
So that's all.
That's everything, yeah.
That's everything.
This figure encompasses both discrete and integrated graphic solutions throughout the year. Oh, how can we fine tune that to the big dogs?
I don't know.
Well, because I said that sounds like we're a couple of years away from having hundreds of millions of GPUs singing.
Yeah, that's their whole production line.
So I guess the question now for anyone to answer, because so NVIDIA split right now, it's I don't even know. Let me check real quick. I know I bought some at 120 today, so
Same.
somewhere around there. It's at 121.82 at the time of recording this. So how does it 10x? And I guess there's your answer. At what point can they satisfy that? If hundreds of millions of GPUs are needed, when can they satisfy that? How long until someone can compete with them? But right now, I think NVIDIA is still scratching the surface, and I think you agree with that, right, Mike? That's
yeah.
where you're at.
I mean, I do, and so like we've talked about, like Microsoft's getting ready to invest $100 billion into a new data center. Even this article is talking about how they just basically keep adding a zero. So who's going to be building the $1 trillion data center for AI, for an AI environment like this?
Yeah, it was every 6 months add a zero, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think people are just getting detached from this. You start just adding zeros over time like this. People are first of all, they're struggling to make six figures. Let alone now you're just adding numbers that they will never see, know, or like that's just where's this money coming from?
There will be a stopping point, right? At some point, you're not going to be able to invest any more money into it.
Yeah.
However, the money that's already being lined up are staggering numbers to begin with.
Yeah, that's what's mind blowing. And what they're doing with these GPUs is what's impressive, because Elon talked about just daisy chaining them together just to create a bigger computer. I think things like that is ultimately going to lead. It's going to be that infinite feedback loop. I think they'll get better at produces more. That will make better solutions, and then just keeps rolling.
Right.
So, what's your timeline now? This we're going to talk about NVIDIA. So it went from 1200 to 120. How long until 1200 again?
I'm going to say 4 years.
4 years?
4 years. 4 years to 10x again.
4 years, huh?
What are you thinking?
I was going to cheat and kind of look at the chart. See if we can repeat it. Let me pull this up, actually. So just looking at a chart here. Let's go to the weekly. So 4 years, if we just kept the same performance, you'd be about on track if we just kept everything the same. It's just such a curve here. So do we see that curve still? Do we ever see this start to, does it go sideways and ramp up? How is the growth? What's the growth look like on that?
Now, the one hindering factor right now, I think. So here's what I think. I think they're going to go through a sideways period because there's one hindering factor, and that's just getting the chips out, right? TSMC, who makes their chips, I think they're bringing the Arizona plant online pretty soon, which will start to ramp up what NVIDIA will be able to allocate through them. Will be able to increase soon.
So on that, would you rather? Cause so if Nvidia is selling the shovels, what are these guys selling? The shovel handles, the shovel head,
They're they're actually producing the chips, right?
right?
Uh, so they're the manufacturer versus the retail guy putting the chips out there, if that makes sense.
Right.
So Nvidia is the store owner
Hmm.
who designed the shovel. They just outsourced the manufacturing of it to some other company. TSM actually is going to be it's going to jump up into my top 10, I think.
Okay, because that was I get this question all the time: is if they make the chips, why not buy them instead of Nvidia or a mix of both? Do you 60-40 it? How do you split it? All of things I can't answer,
Yeah,
uh, but
it will.
and personally, I have a lot of Nvidia. Um,
This will be part of my mix. It's not going to be a huge chunk.
mhm,
Nvidia's the designer and the name and the one who's actually putting out the good stuff, right?
right.
Who manufactures it? I don't want to say it's irrelevant, but
Hmm.
they're gonna profit from it because the demand is so high. But
Yeah.
the people who are designing it are still going to be the winners.
Yeah, because
Uh,
that's what I'm saying. Like, what happens with if this is just because you got the shovel and you got the head to the shovel, right? Or I guess
yeah,
maybe a handle at the top.
right.
You go from a wooden handle, long stick to the metal head. What happens, and this is the part, and that we are going to just grossly underestimate everything. But what happens when someone else comes along and says, "I got a fiberglass handle," or the wood on this handle is better or stronger? Nvidia is still Nvidia. They still have the shovels. They're still selling the shovels, but the product behind the scenes might change. Not saying it's going to happen to TSM, but just when I get questions like this, it's like how many layers deep do you want to go before you're like,
Yeah,
I just want that one.
yeah. So let's take it one by one, right? Let's take
Mhm.
the actual design of the chip itself. I think Nvidia is going to have not just dominance over the next until the end of the decade, but like complete dominance because they're going to be they're so far advanced right now, and they're going to be using AI to help develop and design their
Mhm.
chips. That moat's going to keep getting stronger. Doesn't mean that like an AMD or someone else can't do it. They'll just be behind the times a little bit.
Yeah, they would be on the entrance ramp, and Nvidia's on the highway already doing 80 miles an hour,
Right.
left
Now
lane.
when it now when it comes to, like, let's say the manufacturer like TSM,
Mhm.
building a fabrication plant is not easy. So those just do not come online, overnight. Those are years in the planning and building.
But NVIDIA's
So
already helping with that too, with the
exactly.
NVIDIA, the 3D space they created for robots, the robot gym.
Yeah.
Is it Omniverse? Is that what they call it?
Something like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. So someone like a TSM who's already got plants already in the US, already in development and works and coming online soon. Again, they're just ahead of any other manufacturer who could possibly want to build chips for someone else. So
Yeah.
I think those two things cover your bases at least I'd say at a minimum 5 years.
Yeah. Let's pull up. I haven't even checked TSM's options. Are they liquid? Yeah, they're pretty liquid. So if you would even run if on something like this, anything I invest in, I do like to create my own dividend on. And TSM, what $5 move, 175s. Yeah, so still plenty liquid for a lot of people to be run the wheels a popular strategy or just accumulating shares, selling calls against it, using that money to buy more shares and kind
Yep.
of snowball it. You know what you could do if you were indecisive like I am, or like should you 60-40 it, 50-50 it, if you got the two but kind of worried about the split, go to you grab your Nvidia. It's expecting a $5.23 move after today, which was I was so close on the $7 move. It was $6 in the morning. So we're at 121, so we go 127s for the rest of the week. That's $65. I already forgot what TSM costs.
It's like 160 something.
Okay. Okay, so you're already 1 day worth of theta in because it was more earlier.
Yeah.
But you take this money and then you buy TSM with that. So like if
Yeah.
I were to sell next week's, I like the 18 deltas. We'll scroll to that. How many strikes? Okay, 17 deltas pays you $76. I'd sell the 131 for next Friday. Yeah, so 2 weeks in, so you get almost a couple shares, couple free shares
Yeah.
a month of TSM. And look at the charts. It's like a simple hack. Buy the things that go from the lower left to the upper right. It's worked out well for a long time now, actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they both do that.
So Nvidia, I'm saying 10x minimum.
And you're saying 4 years.
Yeah.
I want to scoot that up a little bit, but Nvidia.
But you know
Nvidia
what? You know what? This the 10x in 4 years gets close to that $55,000
Yeah.
a share valuation I had a few months ago. If by 2030.
Yeah. It's just when Nvidia goes sideways, because it has these sideways spells, and it's 9 months to a year. Great for option sellers. Anybody wants to accumulate shares or anything like that. And I feel like, so if I say 3 years, it's going to do that. I think you might. I mean, if I could give it a perfect answer, would be 4, give or take a year. That gives you 3 to 5 years. It's a 10x.
Yeah.
I think I would have to. I want to say 3, but if it pulls over, and
So you're gonna say 4. You're gonna say 4, but you're leaning towards 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go 3.5.
3. So 3.5. There you go.
Yeah. Put it in the middle. Because the cool thing about this is it's ramping up faster. People are realizing that, and people are making a lot of buys off of that. So not only is Nvidia stock price kind of just running on, I don't want to say pure momentum, almost looks like it though, right? It almost looks like it's curving straight up. They have the numbers behind the scene to back it. And until that slows down, you're going to pay the premium. People are going to get the higher it stays, the more comfortable people are with that price. They don't really take market cap into consideration. A lot of people don't. As YouTubers talk about it, but it's a number that doesn't really mean anything, for being honest. Because it's not like anyone's going to. I guess it comes into play if someone wants to buy Nvidia. At that point, then they would have to buy all the shares. Right now, psychologically, they see it was already $1,000. It just split. Round 2, 3, 4. How many times it splits. We're just gonna do it again. So it's not uncharted territory. It's all Nvidia was here before. Everyone started talking about Nvidia split at $750 the last time it was up here. It did the same thing because the last time Nvidia split, it was about $750, $800 a share, and it split down, ran back up to $1,200, and here we are, starting to race over again.
Yep.
So
think about this before you finish that thought.
Mm-hmm.
AI or Nvidia has been hyped because of AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of the what things like the LLMs can do. So ChatGPT, the technology that people are saying kind of ramped this up.
Right.
What do you think happens to the AI stocks when the next versions that have agents come out?
I think that's where I don't want to say we're in a bubble, but think of .com era. There were people that just added .com to their, hey, we got a website, and went up. Then there are people that actually had a website that was functional, and it was used as part of their business, not some side piece. There's a lot of companies that will, so far, every company will have something to do with AI. There's a reason to say AI in every earnings, but that doesn't mean anything. Walmart using AI to order material doesn't mean jack to me. It just means they're not going to go away, in the history books.
Well, what I'm thinking is that when the next versions of something, it could be LLM or whatever, and it's a true agent, and the functionality is 10 times better than what it is now. So true, we're getting closer to true AI.
Right.
When that next iteration comes out, the true AI stocks in my mind are going to go ballistic.
Yeah. And that's what I was getting ready to say is like that's where they separate the men from the boys.
Right.
Because it won't just be our company has it, it's here's what you can do with it. Like
Right.
at that point it becomes a tangible item that people can physically use, get value out of. You know, it's one thing like I don't care how stubborn an Android user is. If Apple came out with that and Android in another world where it wasn't just 1 month behind or there's always that race. Uh People would switch. I
Yeah.
mean that's how big it would be. They would drop their phones now and be at an Apple store trying to get the iPhone.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. It sounds weird to say, but if there was a true AI and Apple just wasn't going to come out with that, I think I would switch too. I would
Yeah.
probably have to go get a phone. But
It'd be tough not to.
yeah, it really would, and I think that's what's going to happen to the companies, and that goes along with the beginning of the videos is why I wanted to cast that AI net. Just I want to get the powerhouses, I wanted to get the people with money, because if money could buy it, it would already be here. Just like you said earlier, they're attaching a zero every 6 months. You know,
Yeah.
again, if money could buy it, it would already exist. We are not hindered by money at all. It's like, oh, if only we had just enough funding. Not a
Yeah.
thing, like we are just waiting for something to just be invented.
Yep.
That's why I think one of the giants pulls it off. It's also why I think America does win the race, because we have the real money going into it. We have,
we have the capital and the talent.
Yeah, hoping we win the race.
That combination is gonna. We better. We have to.
I don't want AI to be trained on one guy should lead the world and make all the decisions, because that's what China's AI is being trained on, and that's going to be world domination. AI is going to think, you're right, and it's me. Deploy the Terminators. They're going to have, behavioral algorithms. Don's not going to agree. Get him off this planet. It's just going to happen. So we better win the race. Okay, so
that's why I called you up this afternoon. I was like, okay, this is crazy numbers we got to talk about.
Yeah, and I like bringing that to the public. Is anytime any insiders, I feel like they know more. It's kind of like asking somebody how awesome that job is after they've been fired. Ask anybody how awesome their job is while they work there. Oh, it's the best thing ever. And then you get the true story when they're fired.
Right.
So previous insiders, they can't wait to spill the beans, or if anything, hold back.
Yeah.
So
and this kind of gives some credence to that, right? If he was just bitter and didn't think the technology was going to go anywhere, he would have said so.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This is actually praising. He's actually praising and saying it's more advanced than people actually realize.
Yeah. And that's something I've been saying for the longest time now, which people have called me crazy. And when I get other people I remember we made a video joking about it because Elon agreed with my timeline. It's like, there you go. But the more and more people do it, the more and more I am not prepared.
Yeah.
So I got to buy a lot more.
I'm working on
it. How's your meta position? Is it number 1 yet?
No.
This is unbelievable.
NVIDIA is going to be my number 1.
Meta's going to be number 2. Tied for first place.
Probably it could probably be number 2.
It needs to be number 2. How can I not convince you to? They're the ones putting LLMs against each other, saying double check this person's work. And Omniverse sounds a whole lot like Metaverse.
I'm still a fan of Google. They still got DeepMind. They still got a lot going for them.
Yeah, until Meta makes that. All right, let's wrap it up here. So you're thinking 4 years. I'm thinking 3.5. And if it goes bankrupt, I guess this video won't age well.
It will not, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be just fine.
Yeah. Shout out to the people that's calling it a bubble, and it's going to absolutely get decimated.
No.
Hope you're not short. Anyway, I'll wrap it up here. Thumbs up, like the video, all that, and we will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.